Flooding rains continue for portions of our area, and what this very large and impressive system for April will bring. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi friends, Rusty back with you here at Meteo Mundo on this Tuesday, April the 16th. Hope you've been having a great day so far. Coming up, we're going to talk about some very heavy rain for portions of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. Very gusty winds and what this large system is going to be doing and where it's going to be tracking over the next several days. As we get started on this Tuesday, thank you so much for liking the video, and we will get right into it. So on this Tuesday afternoon, you're looking at our visible satellite imagery and you're looking at wind gusts across the Caribbean and the Bahamas here. We're looking at some buoy data. We're looking at obviously some on-island data as well. This is going to be your wind gusts over the last 6 hours. And obviously where we've had this heavy rainfall, we continue to see some gusty winds, and this is an elongated area. This is a trough of low pressure, but there's also some very broad spin associated with this that just continues to pummel places like Santo Domingo and Punta Cana and Fajardo and San Juan and Culebra and St. Thomas and St. John, St. Croix, and portions of the British Virgin Islands with some extremely heavy rainfall. There's been some gusty winds from time to time. You can see that 20, 25, 30 mile an hour winds, but really the bigger story here is going to be the rain. So let me take off real quickly here our wind data, and then I'm going to throw on our NEXRAD data out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. All right. So I'm going to bring that up and we're going to take a look at what's happening right now. Now, the other thing I need to do real quickly is probably get the elevation changed just a little bit. Now, you can see, first of all, I've been watching the San Juan radar here all day long. This is probably the lowest amount of rain that I've seen across the island, the coastal islands to the east, and then St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John that I've seen all day long. We've had some extremely heavy rain. Places like Arecibo have had nearly 4 inches of rain cumulatively here in just the last 24 to 36 hours. Fajardo, one of the areas that have had some heavy rain, kind of elongated on the northern side of the island. And if you live in Puerto Rico, drop in the comment section below. Let me know what you've been seeing. But this rain obviously extends back over to Hispaniola. That was the other big story. And you can see again the blow up of the clouds there. When I switch over to the other satellite product here, this is going to be the infrared satellite imagery. And I'm going to zoom back in real quick. I want you to notice again this flare up of thicker, higher cloud tops across all of Hispaniola. We've had some good, heavy flooding rains for portions of Haiti and the Dominican Republic to go along with Puerto Rico. And this area will continue to see the opportunity for flooding rains at least through portions of tomorrow. Several inches of rain have already fallen. Obviously, with an island like Hispaniola, it's very mountainous. You have mudslides as a concern. So anywhere from Lecay to Port-au-Prince, Santiago de los Caballeros, San Domingo, Punta Cana, La Romana, and Samana, Azua, all of those areas, we're going to continue to see these showers develop at least through the early evening hours of this Tuesday. This trough is trying to slowly drift off to the north and to the east. And you can see that right now, the thickest dense cloud coverage is just north of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. So a little bit of reprieve, at least in the short term, but another wave of rain is expected tonight through at least tomorrow morning, with the potential an additional heavy rainfall flooding threat for those areas. The rain has been a little bit more spotty. I'm going to go on over to this satellite here, the visible satellite. The rain has been a little bit more spotty today in the northern Leeward Islands, Anguilla and Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat and Saba and St. Bartholomew, St. Martin, places like that. We've had some showers flare up, but it just hasn't been the consistent rain as areas off towards the south. We've had a little bit of rain for Martinique and Dominica for today. St. Lucia, a few passing showers, potentially over Barbados. You can kind of see that stream to the south and to the east. St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada, and a couple of showers trying to pass over places like Trinidad and Tobago. At least, if nothing else, a little bit of cloud coverage there. I can throw on the actual current temperatures in this area as well. So let me go ahead and do that. And again, it's been very hot and humid in these areas. Trinidad and Tobago in the upper 80s right now in Fahrenheit, up to 90 degrees there in Tobago. But again, obviously fairly dry relative to areas to the north. ABC Islands, hot and dry. Bonaire, Aruba, and Curacao, temperatures in the upper 80s there. And again, just extremely easy to see where we have the thicker clouds and temperatures in the upper 70s, lower 80s. Drier in the Windward Islands and the ABC Islands. Not much rain yet for my friends in Jamaica. Kingston, and again, one other area here, you can see it very clearly here. I can throw this on, and you can see that we have in Kingston a 90-degree temperature, dew point of 75. What that means is feels like temperatures are running right around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Very hot. We're going to try and get a couple of isolated showers in Jamaica later today. By the way, stick around. We're going to look at the 3-day rain chances in your area coming up towards the end of the video. It's been drier in places like Belize and Honduras and Guatemala, which means inland it's getting hotter. You can see that our friends in San Ignacio have hit 95 for today, and there could be some potential triple-digit heat coming to interior sections of Belize over the next few days. A little bit of a wispy clouds coming back into Cancun and Cozumel right now, and portions, sorry about that, went a little bit too far, portions of the Cayman Islands as well. Boy, I'm just all over the place with temperatures that are mainly in the 80s. Sometimes this mouse likes to have a mind of its own. It continues to be absolutely gorgeous weather in the Bahamas. And again, I mentioned this, if I don't talk about your area prominently, it means that you're seeing pretty nice conditions, so enjoy it. Nassau in at 79, Freeport, Lucaya in at 80. Very gentle winds across the area, even toward the Turks and Caicos. It gets a little bit rougher when you get down to that area, but obviously, again, all eyes are going to be on this system. Now, I showed you yesterday kind of how this had a little bit of vorticity, it had a little bit of spin, and that certainly is the case. It's very clear to see in this visible satellite imagery, you have clouds at different heights of the atmosphere traveling in different directions. Generally speaking, we're going to shear this off and move it off to the north and to the east. So let's take a look at a couple of different models. The first thing before we even get into the rain is I want to show you the wind product here. So let me find the wind gusts. There it is. And let me throw this into motion. And as this is fully loading up, and by the way, I do want to point out, do you see this icon here? This is a test system that they're making sure that basically everything is up and running before we get into hurricane season. I have the tropical layer active on my computer. So if you see that icon here to the right of my head, just ignore it. It is just a test system. They're just making sure that all the data is getting properly inputted and outputted through the various different computer systems. So again, ignore it, but I just wanted to point that out because inherently I have that layer on all of my graphics and I don't want to take it off for obvious reasons as we get closer to hurricane season. So again, we're looking at the winds coming out of this system, tracking to the north and to the east. I mentioned it yesterday, this broad spin. It's not going to become anything tropical, but it's an extremely unusual feature in this part of the Atlantic for this time of the year. We get the more mid-latitude cyclones, obviously, when you get into the cooler waters here, and then just very broad winds in general through the rest of the Atlantic basin, but still a bit of a twist. But again, this is pulling away, which means the moisture content, that really high moisture content, is moving out of the area as well. So starting tomorrow, we are going to begin to dry out in these areas. One more look, real quick, one more look at the winds here, and then we'll get into the actual rain forecast. And again, ignore that icon. Every time I see it, I'll try and take it off here. But obviously, first of all, there's nothing tropical. And second, as in the far eastern Atlantic, we wouldn't have to worry about it anyway. So again, you can see that we'll start to see those winds out of the north and the east, turn a little bit more out of the east as the system moves away, but still a bit of a gentle east to northeast wind through portions of Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, Hispaniola. For my friends from Dominica and Barbados south to Trinidad and Tobago, it will be more of an east to a southeast wind with an isolated shower possible, but still fairly dry conditions. But the easterlies will dominate the Caribbean over the next 5 days. All right, let's get into what the rainfall totals look like here. So let's show you the loop here, and we'll go over the next 5 days. And again, the first thing I want to highlight is the areas that are going to continue to see the heavier rain. And it's obviously clear to see where that's going to fall and the duration. I do expect the heavy rain and isolated flooding threat to continue for especially Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico through tomorrow afternoon. And then things will start to get a little bit better. But snapshot of this evening at 8 o'clock. We're still really covered up in rain across Haiti and the Dominican Republic. heavy rain. And again, temperatures in the atmosphere are beginning to fall in the upper levels. There's more instability. We could have some thunderstorm activity. If you've heard some rumbles of thunder, let me know in the comments section below. But this area absolutely prone to see at least some isolated storms, which obviously will aid in the heavier rainfall in localized area, leading to the quick rise in rivers, leading to the mudslides, leading to the flash flooding potential in all these areas. And we've already had 3-4+ inches of rain in some spots. As we get into tomorrow morning, there'll still be some leftover showers over the islands. First of all, they won't be as heavy and they won't be as prominent, and hopefully they'll begin to fade. And as we get into our Thursday, not completely dry, but not the heavy rain that we had. And then we'll continue to dry out overall. Again, I don't want to say we're completely dry Friday into Saturday, but certainly we're going to see the axis of this heaviest moisture move away. It's getting out of here, getting into the open waters. Might be left behind with some isolated showers beginning on Thursday, but that would be about it. It's the same situation for the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. Thomas, St. John, St. Croix, Tortola, the British Virgin Islands. Again, you're going to have some passing showers. Can't rule out an isolated spot of flooding. Generally speaking, though, you should avoid that. But again, rougher surf and sea conditions, at least for the next 24 hours. It's spottier rain from Anguilla and Antigua and Barbuda south, including Montserrat and St. Kitts and Nevis and Guadeloupe and Dominica. Again, we pick up a little bit of moisture down towards Barbados. I don't want to rule out a couple of passing showers, but that would be about it. But I think you would enjoy it. Obviously, if nothing else, we're going to try and cut some of the humidity and the heat from the afternoon. If we can get you some of these showers, certainly no way in any flooding. I'll continue to monitor the swell situation in Barbados. There's been some isolated swells in offshore waters the last few days. Again, relatively dry St. Vincent, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to try and pick up a little bit more moisture moving back into these areas starting over the weekend. So relatively dry for Trinidad and Tobago as we go over the next few days. But then as we move into Saturday and Sunday, rain chances are going to try and come up just a little bit more. It's a trend I'll be monitoring a little bit here, but again, you could use a break from the heat and get a little bit of shower activity back in your forecast. ABC Islands continue to be one of the drier spots. Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, an isolated shower is possible. Otherwise, temperatures there well into the lower 30s Celsius-wise with winds that'll be 20 to 25 miles an hour. For my friends in Jamaica, again, I've heard from a lot of you and I appreciate it. Keep it coming. Let me know. It's been really spotty rain. There hasn't been a lot of concentrated rain in Jamaica lately, and I just think that that trend continues. We could catch a few showers the remainder of this Tuesday. Then as we get into our Wednesday, here's a couple more showers skirting across the island. So we have a low chance for rain in Kingston and Mandeville, in Westmoreland Parish, in Montego Bay in general, in Ocho Rios. But is there any concentrated rain over the island? I think the answer is no. I'm also hoping to maybe get a little bit more rain to come back in maybe Friday, Saturday. But looking at a couple of different things, the model that I'm showing you doesn't really have a high chance for that. My fingers are crossed for at least a little bit more rain in the island. It's something I'll be monitoring, but you should not expect a lot of widespread showers in Jamaica or the Northwest Caribbean in general over the next 5 days. The trend has actually been, if nothing else, to get a little bit drier. Looking at portions, of Belize and the Yucatan, again, isolated rain there, but nothing very prominent here. We stay with our easterlies. It gets a little bit warmer with a few isolated showers. The Cayman Islands, again, relatively dry. And for my friends in the Bahamas, again, we just continue to enjoy a beautiful stretch of weather here. A lot of sunshine, no real threat for any rain across the area here. Gentle winds, no rough surf and sea conditions. A couple of showers could try and get back into the Turks and Caicos as well. But generally speaking, again, I don't expect there to be a lot of rain there. All right, so let's take a look at our rain chances, and then we'll get into the total precipitation in the area. So here's how the rain chances look. Zippo in the Bahamas over the next 3 days. Belize City, at best a 20% chance. Jamaica, again, I'm going to try and up that chance to 30% on Thursday, but it's just really isolated. In general, it's still going to be pretty hot and steamy. All right, the Dominican Republic. Heavy flooding rains are still possible the remainder of this Tuesday through Wednesday. We do shut off the faucet fairly quickly and get you back into a drier forecast on Thursday, and just kind of dropping down to Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. It's about the same scenario. Still very wet today. A lot of rain still for tomorrow, at least through midday, and then trying to dry out later Wednesday and on Thursday. Isolated showers across Barbados the next few days. Limited rain chance in Trinidad and Tobago through Wednesday. Going to maybe see a few more showers on Thursday, but generally speaking, you might hold off until even Friday or into the weekend. Okay, let's get back over to the potential rain over the next 5 days, our total precip. And again, what we're really looking at in this is going to be our areas in purple and pinks and whites. Those are areas with more than an inch of rain over the next 5 days. And again, it's some of the areas that we've been talking about the last few days. Really, generally speaking, again, we could have higher rainfall totals through portions of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, Lakai, on over towards Barahona there. Apologize if I'm not pronouncing that exactly correctly. Also have a dry throat. I've been battling a little bit of a sinus issue. About 3 inches of rain, so my R's aren't rolling like they are normally do, like Santiago de los Caballeros. 2.5, 3 inches of rain. By the way, I speak Italian, io parlo italiano, and I do know some Spanish. I'm actually going back and relearning some Spanish. We'll talk more about that in some subsequent videos. Santo Domingo, about 2 inches of rain. Punta Cana, about 1 inch of rain. Looking for, again, more solid rain over Puerto Rico, especially through tomorrow afternoon. And again, these totals that I'm showing you are from what's happening now through the next 5 days. It doesn't even take into account what's already fallen. So this is additional rain. So when we've had 3-4 inches of rain in Puerto Rico and portions of the Dominican Republic, and we're topping off another few inches of rain in a couple of spots, the flood threat does continue. The rain totals do taper off into the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and then the northern side of the Leeward Islands. We, could see some spots of heavier rain. There's Martinique with 1 inch of rain there. There's St. Vincent potentially near 1 inch of rain as well. And again, late in this period, towards the weekend, is when we could get some heavier rain trying to move back in over Trinidad and Tobago, at least some spottier rain, more than isolated, to provide us the opportunity for a few more showers. And again, I just wanted to show you this broader perspective. Look at this heavier rain trail coming with this system moving back into the Atlantic. All right, you saw your rain chances. One more quick look at that. And of course, again, not only do we have this YouTube channel, friends, you can find us across all of social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, myMediaMundo@gmail.com. You want to send me a picture or a video as well. Friends, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing this video. If you've been looking for a home for your weather forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas, you found it here at Meteo Mundo. I appreciate you. I'll keep you updated. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon right here at Meteo Mundo.